I don't need reminders. My brain is a steel trap, Dad declared, puffing out his chest like a superhero whose only power was forgetting things. It was Saturday morning in our house just outside Columbus, Ohio. Cold outside, chaotic inside. The air smelled like cinnamon rolls, laundry detergent, and just a hint of panic. Mom was in the kitchen flipping pancakes, humming some 80s pop song. I was on the couch in my usual slouch, scrolling through my phone like the teenager I proudly am. Then Dad walked in and dropped that line. He wasn't joking. "I'm serious," he said, pointing at his temple. "Starting today, no sticky notes, no phone alerts, no calendar apps. I'm remembering the entire family's schedule. All week. From memory." Mom paused mid-flip. "Wait, what?" Dad grinned, looking like he'd just unlocked level 300 of life. "I've realized something. I remember more than you think. I just don't get credit for it. So I'm taking charge of our schedule this week. Trust me, it'll be smoother than ever." Mom gave him a long, suspicious stare. "You forgot your own password twice this morning. That was different. That was technology. I'm talking about real-life remembering. Like appointments, events, birthdays." I groaned. "Please don't do this." He pointed at me dramatically. "Jake, you'll thank me by Friday. Mark my words." And that was that. Dad's ego had left the station, and none of us could stop the train. Now, I should explain something. My dad, David Miller, is a loving father, a decent cook, and a top-tier hugger. But when it comes to memory, the man once sang happy birthday to my aunt on Father's Day. Last Halloween, he handed out protein bars instead of candy and swore that's what the kids love now. He's not a bad guy, just confidently incorrect. That afternoon, he started flexing his so-called mental muscles. He repeated Mom's work schedule out loud like a monk reciting a mantra. He reminded me several times about my soccer practices. He even muttered, "Grandma's birthday is Sunday. Can't mess that up again." Spoiler, yes, he can. Mom and I exchanged glances the whole day, silently agreeing not to interfere. Honestly, I was curious to see how long this steel trap would hold before snapping shut on his foot. Sunday morning came like a quiet storm. I was still in bed when I heard it. "David, it's 11. My eyes flew open. I knew that tone. That was the "you just ruined my day" tone. I bolted downstairs. Mom stood in the kitchen, hair unbrushed, still in pajamas, holding her phone like it was evidence in a courtroom. Dad stood frozen in mid-toast buttering. "I had a Zoom call with my regional director at 10, she snapped. "You swore it was Tuesday." Dad blinked. "But I remember seeing it." Mom held up her phone. "Email confirmation. Friday, 10 a.m. Today. I even told you at dinner." Dad looked genuinely confused. "I must have remembered an old email," she groaned. "David, I had to beg for this meeting. I can't believe." But then she stopped, saw how small he looked in that moment and sighed. "You didn't do it on purpose. But seriously, no more steel trap." Dad opened his mouth, closed it, noted. I watched quietly, something soft tugging at my chest. This wasn't just funny anymore. It was kinda sad. Dad really wanted to help. He just wasn't built for remembering everything. But we weren't done yet. Later that afternoon, I was gearing up for soccer practice. I grabbed my cleats and water bottle, hollered a "let's go" to Dad, and headed for the door. Dad popped his head out from the laundry room. "Practice was canceled, remember? You showed me the message last week." I froze. No, that was last week. It got rescheduled. I even told you yesterday." Dad waved it off. "Jake, I'm sure. Coach said something about field repairs. Coach also said to be there today at 3. It's in the group chat." Dad sighed. "Look, you can go if you want, but I'm 99% sure no one's gonna be there." 20 minutes later, we pulled into the field parking lot. And there they were. My team, my coach, everyone, doing drills, laughing, warmed up, ready, except me. Coach gave me a tight-lipped nod. "Glad you could join us, Jake." My teammates snickered. One of them whispered, Guess your dad used Apple Maps for the schedule. I wanted to sink into the grass. Dad looked mortified. I swear I saw. Maybe I read it backwards or… He stopped, sighed, and walked back to the car. That evening, we suited up again. Fancy clothes. Shoes shined. Cake in hand. Why? Because, according to Dad's so-called memory, it was Grandma's birthday. We walked into her living room shouting, "Happy birthday!" like a flash mob. Grandma blinked at us from her recliner, halfway through an episode of Jeopardy! What? Birthday? Dad beamed. Your birthday, of course. She squinted. David, my birthday's not for 3 more weeks. Silence. Then she started laughing. You did this last year too. And the year before that. Mom cracked up next. He even ordered the cake yesterday to be safe. Dad stood in the middle of the room, holding a cake with the words, "Happy 72nd, Queen G," and whispered, "Well, at least it's not after your birthday this time." Grandma clapped her hands. Oh, honey. You're so bad at birthdays it's starting to become my favorite tradition. And that's how a fake birthday became one of the realest nights we've ever had. Laughing over spaghetti, eating cake way too early, and making memories we'd actually remember. Monday afternoon rolled in with the quiet tension of a ticking bomb. Dad hadn't said much all day. After yesterday's triple mess-up, Mom's missed meeting, my late soccer practice, and Grandma's surprise non-surprise birthday, he was unusually silent. He sat at the kitchen table with his planner, which had no writing in it, furrowing his brows at it like it had personally betrayed him. I walked in for a snack and casually asked, "So, what's on the agenda today, Captain Calendar?" He didn't look up. Dinner at Luigi's. 6:30. Reserved last week. Favorite booth. Candle on the table. Finally got something right. I raised an eyebrow. You double-checked? Dad scoffed. Please. I even remembered to request no onions on your pasta. Total redemption. I shrugged. I wanted to believe him. By 6:15, we were all dressed up again. Mom looked cautiously optimistic in a blue dress. I had on the one button-up shirt that didn't itch. Dad adjusted his tie in the rearview mirror like he was about to accept a Nobel Prize. We walked into Luigi's. Dad stepped up to the host stand with a sparkle in his eye. "Reservation for David Miller," he said confidently, puffing out his chest like a man finally clearing his name. The hostess typed something into the computer. Click, click, click. Her smile faltered. I don't see anything for tonight." Dad blinked. "What?" She kept checking. "David Miller, you do have a reservation. For next Monday." The pause that followed was almost holy in its silence. Dad's face collapsed into something between horror and deep, spiritual fatigue. Mom bit her lip, shaking her head. "David? I swear I wrote the date right. I double-checked. I even rehearsed saying it out loud in the car." The hostess gave an apologetic smile. "We do have a table open tonight. Near the kitchen, though." Dad looked like someone had just told him they were out of lasagna at Christmas. But then he turned to us and, God bless him, grinned. "Well," he said, "nothing like the scent of garlic and steam to enhance the romance." We took the kitchen table. It was loud, hot. Every 5 minutes a waiter bumped my chair or nearly dropped a plate next to us. But something strange happened again. We started laughing. Mom toasted to memory-free Mondays. Dad told the hostess to bring us a cake now just in case someone's birthday is coming up. We ended up splitting a 2-dry tiramisu while making up fake family holidays like Forgetful Father's Day and Random Reservations Thursday. And somewhere between the spaghetti and the snorts of laughter, I saw it. That soft look in Mom's eyes. The one she used to give Dad before life got so scheduled. Like she was seeing the guy she fell in love with again. Even if he couldn't remember when their first date was. And Dad? He looked more like himself than he had in days. Not because he was perfect, but because he stopped pretending he had to be. That night wasn't a disaster. It was just us. Tuesday morning, I wandered into the kitchen and saw Dad crouched in front of the fridge, drawing something with a red marker. "Morning," I yawned. He turned and smiled. "Behold," he said, stepping aside. "The memory board." I looked up. There, on the fridge, was a brand new whiteboard, divided into 4 columns. One for Mom, one for me, one for him, and one hilariously titled, "Things David Will Definitely Forget Unless Reminded." Each square was color-coded. Sticky notes added flair. There was even a doodle of a birthday cake that read, "Not today." "You did all this?" I asked, eyebrows raised. He nodded. "Well, with a little help from your mom. I figured, if I can't be the human calendar, I can at least be the guy who builds one." Couldn't help it. I smiled. Later that week, he actually got things right. He remembered to pick up cupcakes for my class party, on the correct day this time. He drove Mom to yoga class early and even brought her a smoothie afterward. He remembered Grandma's real birthday and mailed her a card that said, "Your son still forgets everything except that he loves you." But the part that stuck with me the most? It was Friday night. We were sitting on the couch, just the 3 of us watching some cheesy sitcom. Mom had her feet in Dad's lap. I was half asleep, warm under a blanket. Out of nowhere, Dad said quietly, "I think I was trying so hard to remember everything, because I didn't want to miss anything." Mom looked at him. "You've never missed the stuff that matters." And in that second, I got it. Dad didn't forget because he didn't care. He forgot because he cared too much, trying to hold too many things at once in a heart that sometimes overflowed. In the end, memory isn't always about facts and dates and being perfectly on time. Sometimes it's about the little things we hold on to, the jokes that never die, the dinners that go wrong but feel just right, the mistakes that turn into traditions. My dad may not be a walking calendar, but he's always there, mess-ups and all. And those are the memories that never fade. Because if laughter really is the best medicine, my family's practically immortal.